Every single one of these buildings is on stilts over the water. Every house is like this. Every business, restaurant, coffee shop, all built over the water. It's pretty cool how they intertwine being surrounded by this beautiful water into their everyday life in every way.
Welcome to Travel Banter. I'm Igor.
And I'm Alex. Today we talk about over-the-water stilt houses. They're a feature in this archipelago of Bocas del Toro. They're everywhere.
2 weeks ago we visited an indigenous local community in Salt Creek on Isla Bastimentos. And the entire indigenous group there lives in the stilt houses, and they have been doing it for a very long time.
When Christopher Columbus arrived here in Bocas del Toro, it was his fourth journey to the Americas, and in 1502, the local natives already lived in the stilt houses.
The land here is either very steep hillsides or mountains, or low-lying mangroves that are susceptible to high tides. So the locals built stilt homes in order to elevate themselves above the water, or to embed the homes on the steep slopes of the mountains.
Later, the United Fruit Company began operating in Bocas del Toro. In the 1850s, the large plantations drew in a lot of workers to the area.
The influx was mostly Afro-Caribbean Jamaicans, and with them they brought the traditions of stilt homes. And they caused a boom in stilt home settlements all around the plantations in Changanola, Almirante, and the entire Bocas del Toro province.
So there's plenty of bars, restaurants, coffee shops, and houses over the water, but there's also a ton of these hotels. All of these little casitas you get to yourself right over the water. Pretty great way to spend vacation, I'd say. We see them all over Bocas and the surrounding islands.
Aqua we just passed. Every Wednesday night they have a Latin jazz band and salsa lessons. Quite busy during tourist season right now because we have protests and strikes that are preventing access to the area. It's a little bit empty, but our friend Daniel plays saxophone in the band, so occasionally we go and see that. It's attracting a lot of young people, mostly backpackers that are transiting this area.
We see a lot of old houses that are still here in Bocas, but there's also a lot of new construction too. Plenty of people are building over the water, and some of those houses are pretty grandiose. The construction of these houses is very simple. Open walls, no windows, and they have these long roofs made out of thatch or sometimes corrugated zinc. They also even have gaps in the floorboards for airflow. And then the stilts themselves made out of local wood, hardwoods like almendro or nispero.
Today the construction is mostly unchanged, except the stilts are mostly PVC wrapped concrete. The homes are still built outside of mangroves out over the water.
This is ecologically important to help preserve these mangroves, because the mangroves are a part of the habitat here. They help the habitat, and they also help prevent sea surge.
The ecological impact of a lower footprint is a positive one, but there is a negative side to it as well. A lot of these houses that have been built a while ago still have sanitation issues in the sense that the sewage is dumped directly into the water. Of course, that causes potential health hazards for the marine life, but also for the kids and people that are actually swimming these waters around here. Oftentimes we will see locals just sit on their porch and fish for whatever it is that they're hoping to catch for their dinner, and then the thought occurs, but wait, there is no composting toilets and there is no system of a closed septic tank. So how do they reconcile that?
So there's a lot of times we need to get off the boat to work, and this is one of our favorite spots, Bambuda, right on the water, perfect co-working hostel. We love it here, and we can get here by dinghy.
So Alex, would you live in a over-the-water house?
I don't know. I'm a little bit on the fence. I love the idea of it, the beautiful sunsets, but I think about one immediate concern, the dog. Would he have enough room to run around? Would he have a yard if we were in an over-the-water house? And also, kind of in the future, with climate change, what does the sea level rise look like for a house like that?
Yeah. That is a massive concern. You know, the benefit of those houses obviously is one, ecological, they are outside of mangroves, but there is also a secondary benefit is that the bugs are not where the house is, so you get a chance to hang out a little more.
That's true. And maybe you would do some more fishing.
I think I would, as long as we have a proper composting toilet or something, so the fish is healthy and clean.
Yes.
So what's the verdict, yes or no?
Still a maybe.
All right.